welcome. I'm Ijoma Onyaso tonight. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission rearrests former Minister of Aviation Femi Fani-Kayode. Former House Committee Chairman on Appropriation Abdul Mumin Jibrin files fresh suit against Speaker Yakubu Dogara and the House of Representatives leadership. Academic Staff Union of Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife asks presidency and police authorities to initiate search for their missing colleague. And UN Human Rights Chief describes Syrian city of Aleppo as a slaughterhouse following siege and bombardment by government and Russian forces.
And in business news tonight, federal government restates commitment to the optimization of the country's Cabotage Act.
On sports news tonight, Brazilian striker Neymar signs a new 5-year contract at Barcelona with a $270 million release clause.
And from Abuja, I'm Linda Akibe. European Union seeks to expand partnerships with Nigeria beyond aid and donations, considers energy, science and technology and climate change.
We begin tonight in Lagos, where the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has rearrested a former Minister of Aviation, Mr. Femi Fani-Kayode. The former minister, who did not resist arrest, was surrounded by the operatives of the Commission as he emerged from his trial. The allegations border on conspiracy, stealing, unlawful retention of the proceeds of theft and money laundering of about 4.9 billion naira. From the premises of the Federal High Court in Lagos, he was led to a waiting bus and taken into custody.
They will not take my life. I am not scared. I am not intimidated. I will not be silenced. And I'm very proud of the fact that the Nigerian people are beginning to understand what's going on in this country. They can arrest me 1,000 times, torture me, lock me up, beat me, deprive me of food and my phones. They can do anything to me. I will never change.
Now, the trial of the former National Security Advisor, retired Colonel Sambo Dasuki, and 6 others in the $2.1 billion case bordering on money laundering and breach of trust has been streamlined at the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Maitama. Justice Ishak Bello, at the instance of parties in the trial, directed that the aspect of the charge being handled by Justice Peter Afrin be transferred to Justice Baba Yusuf. Lead counsel to the federal government, Mr. Rotimi Jacobs, who spoke to journalists, says lawyers in the matter are worried about the delayed trial, which has now been fixed for November the 16th.
Well, it appears all the lawyers are tired of the undue delay of this case, two cases, and we agreed that the 2 cases be before the same judge, and the CJ has transferred the case before Justice Afen to the Court of Honorable Justice Baba Yusuf. So I think that's where we are. The issue of consolidation will not arise again once the 2 cases are before the same judge. So the issue of consolidation will not arise.
But it is a day in the courts as the embattled former chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Appropriation, Mr. Abdul Mumin Jibrin, is asking a federal high court in Abuja to award him the sum of 1 billion naira to serve as punitive and general damages for his suspension. In an application for discontinuance of the suit filed against Speaker Yakubu Dogara and 13 others, Mr. Jibrin's counsel says fresh originating summons have been filed before the court. In the new suit, Mr. Jibrin is asking the court to declare that his suspension is a violation of his fundamental right to freedom of expression.
We are presently before the Honorable Court to seek reliefs against the defendants, who, being aware of the pendency of the suit challenging his suspension from the House of Representatives, still went ahead to suspend Honorable Jibrin. We have presently, in the face of the present realities, of the illegalities that took place on the floor of the House of Representatives, filed a new suit to reflect the present situation. So we are discontinuing our old suit, which was pending even before they took the action they took on the floor of the House. So while now the Honorable Court has granted us the 22nd day of November for the hearing of our originating summons, seeking amongst other things to set aside the unwarranted and the unjustified and in fact unconstitutional and unlawful action of Speaker Dogara and his co-travelers.
Now, from issues in court to judicial discipline, and the Nigerian Judicial Council has disagreed with the Nigerian Bar Association on the alleged corruption case against some judges. The NJC, in a statement today, dismissed the call by the NBA for the judges under investigation to proceed on compulsory leave until their innocence is fully and completely established, or until the conclusion of all judicial or disciplinary proceedings. The NJC says it will be unlawful for it to yield to the call by the NBA, adding, quote, "That position breaches the 2014 revised judicial discipline regulations formulated by the NJC pursuant to Section 160 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended," end of quote. The NJC states further that it shall not be subject to the direction or control of any other authority while exercising its disciplinary power over judicial officers in the Federation. It adds that its constitutional mandate is to process and recommend to the executive at the federal and state levels the appointment and/or removal of judicial officers, including exercise of its disciplinary control of suspending and/or warning judicial officers. We have a bit more perspective on the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in terms of the arrest of Mr. Femi Fani-Kayode, and we'll give you that perspective now.
The former minister, who is also a former director of the Media and Publicity Campaign Committee of former President Goodluck Jonathan, is standing trial alongside the former Minister of Finance, Nenadi Usman, one Danjuma Yusuf, and a company, Joint Trust Dimension Nigeria Limited. The EFCC alleges that between January and March 2015, they all conspired to directly and indirectly retain various sums of money which they reasonably ought to have known were proceeds of theft. They were arraigned in June on a 17-count charge to which they pleaded not guilty. The court subsequently granted them bail. The EFCC has opened its case with the testimony of the first prosecution witness, a media consultant with Paste Posters Company, Mr. Idowu Olusegun. The witness told the court that he received the sum of 30 million naira in cash from the office of the Director of Media and Publicity of the PDP campaign organization. The money, which was for printing posters and flyers, was paid through one Olubode Oke, who the witness said he believed was interfacing between him and the Director of Media, Mr. Femi Fani-Kayode. In one of its charges, the EFCC had alleged that Olubode Oke is currently on the run. In answer to his question on why the money was paid in cash, the witness said he was told that this was the approved means of payment. Apart from the 30 million naira contract, the Publicity Campaign Office also gave him a media consultancy job worth 24 million naira, which is yet to be paid. Presiding Justice Muslim Sule Hassan has admitted in evidence the certified true copy of the proposals written by the witness, on which basis the PDP Media and Publicity Campaign gave him the contracts. The proceedings ended with the testimony of the witness, and further proceedings were adjourned till the 14th and 15th of November. A few days before the day's proceedings, Mr. Fani-Kayode had raised an alarm that the EFCC planned to rearrest him, even though the court already granted him bail. His counsel raised the issue in court and asked Justice Hassan to protect his clients. Counsel to the EFCC, however, told the court that there was no plan to arrest the first defendant in connection with the same charge, but he could not say the same about other charges pending against the defendants. As he stepped out of the courtroom, Fani-Kayode told journalists that he would not be intimidated by the tyranny of his prosecutors.
They will not take my life. I am not scared. I am not intimidated. I will not be silenced. And I'm very proud of the fact that the Nigerian people are beginning to understand what's going on in this country. They can arrest me 1,000 times, torture me, lock me up, beat me, deprive me of food and my phones. They can do anything to me. I will never change.
I know that the commission will not arrest anybody without allegation, fresh allegation leading to another set of proceedings different from the one before the Federal High Court Lagos Division. That is what I know, because the core values of the commission is professionalism, integrity and courage. So I know we will never walk outside the realm of the law.
Indeed, Channels TV gathered that there are fresh charges pending against Mr. Fani-Kayode before another court in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, and his rearrest as he left the courtroom might not be unconnected with those charges. He was approached by men of the EFCC who asked him to follow them, and he was subsequently led to a waiting bus and driven away. Shola Shayeli, Channels Television News.
The Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose has been defending his decision to sign a law prohibiting open grazing of cattle in the state, insisting that he has a duty to do whatever he can to protect the lives of his people. Governor Fayose described as shameful the practice of herdsmen rearing cows in cities, including the nation's capital. The governor, who was speaking on our program Hard Copy, has also inaugurated a task force to enforce the law.
When people take advantage of armless people, people that give you space to do your business, and you feed on their farmlands, their crops, and you harass them daily because you have weapons, where are they finding this AK-47? Who is behind it? And let me tell you very, very expressly, Nigeria is a federation. Everybody, as responsible leaders, must take steps to curtail excesses of anybody that wants to take the lives of your people. I was elected governor to protect life and property. And I make it very clear to you, if you are hiding under cattle rearing to take lives of my people, to sleep with their daughters, to sleep with their wives, to take their wives by force, because they know you can come in the night and harass them. You allow farmers to leave their farms at 6. You now go about rearing cattle over their farmlands to destroy their means of livelihood. That will not work. The
Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose. A full-blown conflict may erupt in Awka Township, Anambra State, if the two factions laying claim to the leadership of the town are not called to order by the authorities. The two groups have refused to shift ground despite the intervention of the state government and security agencies. Meanwhile, one of the factions has threatened to take control through the use of force.
33 villages make up Awka Township, but the fresh leadership crisis is threatening to tear apart the ancient town known for blacksmithing. The crisis in the community has turned the town into two factions.
The immediate past administration of Awka Union Nigeria, led by Engineer Tony Kuchuku, attempted to amend the 2008 Constitution, under which an election was conducted and brought them into power. That Constitution provided for a single tenure of 3 years.
There is no violence, there's no crisis. It's a lawful election ordered by court and supported by Awka people.
This division in the town has slowed down development, and this for many of the indigents and elders should not continue.
The government in its wisdom says they don't want to set up a caretaker committee pending the determination of the appeal, or at least pending the determination of the stay of execution. They don't want to preempt whatever it is that the appeal court is going to say. And then you say the government doesn't know what it's doing.
Government say you cannot remain unlawful. And that lawlessness, that is an infraction.
The state government has severally intervened in this matter, as well as the judiciary, but nothing seems to be changing.
A faction or some members of the community have approached the courts. The government is determined to toe the line, wait for the court to make pronouncements. So we've been able to advise the Awka that government will follow the rule of law.
For now, the 33 villages and the traditional ruler of the town may have to wait for a while for government's final pronouncement on the matter before peace can return to Awka community.
In part 2, after the break, European Union seeks to expand partnerships with Nigeria beyond aid and donations, considers energy, science and technology and climate change. To join us again.